What up? It's your boy, Incredible Man. Yes, I'm back at it again. And I'm so happy and I'm overjoyed and I'm just so thrilled because I just watched Psycho Pass Season 3, Episode 1. And it was phenomenal, man. There's only 8 episodes this season, and I'm assuming that each episode is going to be like 45 minutes because there's only 8. So I can understand that. But yeah, man, it was absolutely fantastic, and it was a wonderful way to start off the season in the first episode. And forgive me if you see me kind of glance over at the monitor because I had to pull up their names. I don't remember their names because, like I said in my trailer, we got some new characters and I haven't learned their names yet. So I'm super excited to see their names. I haven't saw the other movie. Maybe if I saw the other movie, I would know what's going on and understand everything that's going on in this season. So I don't know. I'm jumping in fresh and new on the scene. I don't know anything. I don't know why everything happened the way that it happened. I don't know what happened to the other enforcers. I don't know what happened to the other inspectors. I don't know. But in the start of this episode, we start and we hear narration coming from Tsunemori, aka Akane, which was the former inspector. We hear narration coming from her, and then we see her being shut and put in like looks like a prison cell. So I'm assuming her psychopaths got pretty cloudy, and they had to lock her away. Now, I don't know because I need to watch the movie. I need to find somewhere to watch the movie and see and understand what's going on because I'm so out of the loop. But I love this episode, man. So we understand that now she's in prison and she's not a cop anymore. She's not an inspector anymore. So then we find out this episode that the chief is not the chief anymore. She's just like overseeing the civil system, and Mika, aka Shimotsuki, is the new, the chick from season 2 that everybody hated, which was valid. I mean, we had our reasons why we hated her, but this season she's the chief, and I'm pretty sure all of this wraps up and they explain all of this in the movie, but I haven't seen the movie. So come to find out for me that she's the chief, and as of right now, honestly, she seems like a legit chief. I mean, I understand where she's coming from, and I get why she don't want her inspectors to go down the wrong path because she saw that happen with a former inspector and a former friend. So I understand where she's coming from with that, and she's giving them a very short leash to not mess up or anything in this case. So then we get introduced to the inspectors, and we start off and we see, I gotta see his name. Okay, we see Arata Shindo, and he is asleep in the car, and then we see him kind of talking to his father in like a dream state, or someone else in like a dream state, and he wakes up and we see the other inspector, which is driving the car, which is K. Mikhail Inganotov. I don't know. Anyway, but they've been friends since they were childhood friends and everything, and they grew up together. I'm assuming because they have like a cool relationship. And even when Arita is in the in the little dreamscape place, he's like, why didn't you call me or let me know, and I could have been there to hold your hand. So I'm assuming they have like a really good relationship. They had to know each other for a while. I guess kids maybe, or maybe like they growing up, going to school or something. I don't know. So we get introduced to these characters, and then they get to the crime scene, and they're talking to Mika, and she's telling them that she's the chief, and she wants them to investigate this drone crash that happened. Now, jumping back to the drone crash we see is laid out is there's just this drone flying people, and like they're in these stasis pods, and they're just flying, and that's how they're transporting these people. It's just like if you were flying on a plane, but they're in a drone. They can sleep, they can rest, and all this other stuff. So all of a sudden, the drone crashes, and we have one passenger that escaped his pod because he was worried about some stuff, as we found out in this episode, because he was hiding some stuff, because some stuff was going on at the business he was working at, some corrupt stuff, and everything, and that kind of clouded his hue, and it kind of wonked out the system that was inside the drone that had them in the stasis pod, and he escaped, and he was on there, and he was so afraid, and all of a sudden, someone crashed the drone. Now, from my perspective, watching the first episode, well, it looked like maybe the pilot done it, but it's all automated. So someone hacked the system and crashed the drone and killed this man because he had something to tell. He had a secret because what they were doing is some corrupt stuff in this business. But that's not the only thing. the killer was at the crash site. The guy that we saw that was like, I'm so happy, he was taking the picture to verify that that dude had got killed. So he was at the crash site, and Arita figured that out later out throughout the show, because at this whole time, come to find out, these guys are wonderful detectives, and that's what they want to do, is be detectives, not just be like the inspectors. They want to be detectives and solve cases and everything, and that's what I love about them. I always love that aspect about Psycho-Pass, when they wanted to be real detectives, and we have two that fits that criteria and wants to do that. So then, long story short, we get to finding out that these two guys get to meet the enforcers. They meet the enforcers, and the only enforcer that's still the same, and that I know because I haven't watched the movie, is Hinakawa, aka Sho, because everybody else are new. The older guys new, the other guy with the little goatees new, and the chick is new. I don't know her either. She's not the same chick, if I'm not mistaken. She looks different. I think she is. Yeah, she's a different chick. She has to be a different chick. So the chick is new, the old guy's new, and the guy with the goatee's new. The only one that's still the same from season 2 is Hinakawa, aka Sho. So I need to watch the movie because I want to know what happened to the others. So then we have the old guy and the guy with the goatee trying to test out the inspectors, and we have the chick, the new chick. What is her name? I got her name here somewhere. Hold on. I told you, I'm sorry, I have to look away. And we have Akisha, Tema, Todoroki, Shibidu, Okasu, and Kaori Nozuki as Mao Kirasaki? Anyway, something like that. But, so she's new as well. And they all kind of want to test the waters and see where these new inspectors fit the bill, because they seem like they don't trust them really. But these inspectors are boss. The K. Mikael dude, the other two, the older enforcer and the guy with the goatee, were trying to test him out against some of these immigrants that they had to check. And they was like harassing some of the immigrants just to test to see how he would react. And the dude was like, enough, knock it off. And the dude, Hugh, that they were harassing, kind of shot up a little bit, and he shot him. And he was like, now get back in line, and then we'll call the little drones to inspect your heel and stuff. So they was like, oh, okay, my bad. I see, dude's not playing, so we'll settle down. And then we had Hinakawa and the new chick with Arita, and Arita does this cool little thing where he has powers where he can go into like a dream sequence or a dream state, and he becomes that person, and he kind of experiences and lives through what they went through. And they kind of explained it a little bit towards the end of this episode, and he was like, anybody could do it if they work hard enough to train themselves, and a part of this mentalist powers also keeps his Psycho-Pass Hugh in check. And so he kind of is going through like a reliving and a retelling of what actually happened to the dude, and he runs out and he comes in contact, and he was like, I see the dude, we have to save him. So he kind of went through everything the dude went through, and even like almost the fact of him falling out of the plane. But what's the cool part was, he kind of like, they showed how he walked into it. Like the whole screen went kind of black and white and kind of fuzzy, and then there was like flashes of red color because the dude was his hue was clouded, or he was in danger or something like that. So it changed colors, and I love that aspect. So then we get back and they're telling the chief, which is Mika, and she's giving them a little leeway, and then we get introduced to Shion again, which was nice. And then they start to investigate the case. They investigate the case, and they find out that the guy, his employer, and another high-ranking executive in the company, they're scheming off loans and everything, and housing authority buildings and everything, and they're scheming, and they killed this man because this dude was going to tell. They found the evidence at his house, and it was nice and everything. So these guys are legit detectives, man. But what's the greatest thing about this is, because you can definitely tell it's Psycho-Pass, because they're solving that case and they're trying to understand it and get where they're going. They're not worried about the murder aspect anymore, because the chief told them to let it go, which was Mika. She told them to drop it. But you guys can investigate the loan and the fraud and stuff. You can investigate that. But the cool part about this is, with it being a Psycho-Pass show and season and episode, there's always a bigger threat behind the scenes. And this time we have the round table, or no, the round robin, which consists of 3 different people, and they're talking about selling the company's stock just so they can get out of the way and not be investigated by the police. There's so much going on. So we have the 2 actual guys that set this whole thing in motion. Then we have this other guy that knows Arita he knows Arita's father, so he knows Arita. And he's working on the scene with his computer expert. Then we have the round robin group that's working behind the scenes. So this season, as of right now, we have 3 behind the scenes people, and I'm thinking maybe next episode they'll wrap up with the whole transport company people and they'll be done with them. But we still have the guy that knows Arita and Arita's father, and the round robin people, which consist of 3 probably seemingly powerful people in this city. So I'm super excited to find out what's going on. And we also know that Arita and Kay are kind of working as cops and inspectors. I think that because we were teased with it at the very beginning of this episode, Arita wants to know the secret of everything what's going on inside this city. So he wants to, yet again, he wants to know what's going on about the Sybil system. And then at the end of this episode, we saw Tsunemori again, aka Akane. We saw her again inside her cell, and I'm hoping that we get to see more of her this season. Honestly, I don't have to see the old chief anymore. I'm okay with that. And I like the fact that Mika is the new chief, and she seems like she's doing a pretty good job in this role so far. And this season makes her likable to me. I mean, in season 2, she was just a horrible character, but now she's actually quite likable. But I'm hoping we get to see Tsunemori again in more episodes. There's only 8, so each episode is going to be roughly an hour to 45 minutes tops. So I'm super excited to dive into it and see what's going to happen over the course of these 8 episodes, man. This is your boy Dick Incredible. Don't forget to smash that like button so you can't smash it anymore. Comment down below and I'll be sure to respond to each and every one of them, and subscribe, but only if you really want to, man. And remember that anime matters, anime is greatness, and anime is life, man. And yes, believe it, I'm going to do the opening as well eventually. Just give me a little time. It's still a little fresh and I don't want to get copyrighted strike. So give me a little while. I already got it recorded, but I'm not posting it. So peace out, man.